making a slightly different type of reaction video than so far. So, as a gamer, and of course gamer who loves Skyrim, we want to do this now.
Completely out of
So let's
left
go.
field, but Skyrim is getting an update. And actually, Skyrim is getting 2 updates and a totally new version with new content. It almost seems like this game's kind of getting another DLC in a way. And I'm reading online, there is a ton of confusion about all of this. So I want to break down what's going on. Basically, today is QuakeCon. It was kicked off earlier today. And during this, Bethesda had a stream kind of reminiscing about Skyrim, talking with some of the developers and going over the making of the game. And during this, they dropped some announcements on the future of Skyrim. So Skyrim is getting several things on November 11th, 2021, which just happens to be the game's 10-year anniversary. Firstly, it is getting a free next-gen upgrade for PS5 and Xbox Series X. The game will do something better. They don't actually go into details as to what the next-gen upgrade will entail, but likely a higher FPS mode, so you could perhaps play at 60, 120, maybe play at a higher resolution, all of those kinds of things we've come to expect from a next-gen upgrade. And again, that is totally free. Just own Skyrim Special Edition on Xbox or PlayStation. And of course, you actually have to play on a next-gen console. Also, Skyrim is getting a free update for Skyrim Special Edition specifically that is adding in fishing and going to give away 2 of the Creation Club items for free. So they describe this as a free update, and it's probably going to be one of those Creation Club updates where Skyrim itself had to update to add on the content, but in reality, you had to go to Creation Club to actually download the stuff. The new thing here is going to be the free fishing edition. Basically, now you're going to be able to get a fishing pole and actually have this cute little animation, catch some fish. It's kind of an expansion on the existing fish mechanic in game, but also apparently there's some quests around fishing. They showed off this gameplay during their live stream and mentioned there being quests associated with it. So with this specific update, I suspect it's just going to be distributed via the Creation Club menu because, as I mentioned before, you actually get 2 free Creation Club add-ons with this. So for free, you'll also get Saints and Seducers. It might just be completely discounted on the Creation Club menu. Saints and Seducers was actually the single biggest thing to come to Skyrim Creation Club. Basically, what it added in was a ton of new armor in the theme of both the Saints and the Seducers, but also a quest line associated with it. And it was definitely one of the cooler things to come from Creation Club because it actually added in a fairly substantial amount of content. I remember at the time I still thought it was fairly overpriced, but as a free update, you're going to have at least an hour, 2 hours of content to mess around with. And then even further, that free survival mode. This was actually free in the past already when Creation Club was kicking off with Skyrim. It's going to functionally add in survival mechanics into the game. There's a ton of free mods doing the exact same thing. The Creation Club survival mode was never one of the most popular, but it's not a bad one either. And it seems like it's just going to be pretty similar to what we had in 2019 and earlier with those Creation Club updates we all became used to, which may mean mods will break temporarily, which is something else we'll talk about later in this video. But then we have what is the most interesting piece of news, and probably the most confusing in a way, and that is Skyrim Anniversary Edition. So Skyrim Anniversary Edition seems like it's going to basically be like a new version of the game, but also kind of an update to the game. So it's also dropping on the 10-year anniversary. It's going to include all of its DLCs and all Creation Club content. But even further, they describe how, in addition to the 3 free Creation Club items mentioned above, this version, that being the anniversary version, contains the full game plus all 3 expansions and over 500 pieces of unique content from Creation Club, including pre-existing and new quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, spells, and more. So unless I have no idea what I'm talking about here, to me, this reads that it's all the Creation Club content that already released, but then also, with the Anniversary Edition, there's going to be newly released quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, spells, and some other stuff via Creation Club. And even further, existing owners of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition and Xbox Game Pass subscribers will also receive the option to purchase an Anniversary Edition upgrade for their SE version of the game to gain access to all the additional content found in the Anniversary Edition. So this actually kind of makes a lot of sense. We knew that Creation Club kind of just stopped one day. It's not really clear what happened with that, but seemingly people in Creation Club were still working on things, as well as there were still some unreleased items from Creation Club. Despite that, the last release we had was back at the end of 2019. So to me, I think what's happening here is all of the unreleased stuff from Creation Club they had is being added to the Anniversary Edition, and in turn, it actually has an upgrade price to it. Now, will that stuff release as standalone so you don't have to purchase the whole Anniversary Edition? You could just buy them individually off Creation Club? We don't know. At this point, we don't even know how much the Anniversary Edition is going to cost or how much the upgrade to Anniversary Edition is going to cost. I have a feeling, based off past Creation Club pricing, that just buying the bundled upgrade to Anniversary Edition is probably going to be cheaper, even if you have both choices. But it seems pretty likely, taking this all together, that the only way you can get the new content is if you upgrade to Anniversary Edition. And technically that's not confirmed anywhere, but considering Anniversary Edition says it's going to include everything and there is a way to upgrade, that's going to be the incentive to upgrade. You get a couple of new quests, a couple of new weapons, etc. And I think it's unlikely that'll be released as something you could purchase as standalone items. As far as how much content is going to be included in this, I don't really know. They mentioned how there's over 500 pieces of unique content from Creation Club. I assume in that they're counting like every individual weapon, armor, and NPC added, because if you actually just count the individual releases, there's only 58. I can imagine they're adding another 440, but there definitely is potential that this could be fairly sizable, like the scale of 5 to 10 standalone Creation Club releases all bundled together, maybe even more. But just to recap this overall, we're getting a free next-gen upgrade, we're getting some free new Creation Club content that may just be added with an update. It's not really clear. Is it going to use the old Creation Club framework? And then finally, there's a totally new game that with Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which you can upgrade to, and it'll probably just add the game to your library for a fixed cost, or you could buy the game totally new, and that is going to have some totally new content. Whether or not that totally new content will be available otherwise isn't clear. There's also some other interesting things to consider with this. One, this likely means mods will break, at least to some degree, especially with the Anniversary Edition. I imagine mods will have to be patched to work with that version because it's going to be getting an update. With Creation Club content in the past, it almost always required an update. Also, I do wonder if with this bundled version, if a lot of that Creation Club stuff itself received updates. Like sometimes when you join the game with Creation Club, you just get hit with a ton of quests right off the bat. It was a bit overwhelming. So it'd be nice to see some additional fixes, but there's likely going to be some segmentation in the modding community when this all happens. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a decent chunk of mods that will take a while to get updated, because it has been 2 years since the last time somebody had to update their mods, really. And online, you could already see there's definitely been some negative reactions around this, about people having to wait however long for their mods to update. There were some dark days in the Creation Club era with mods pretty consistently breaking and having to constantly wait for things to get fixed, and I think people just don't want to go back to that. Although it does definitely seem like this is probably the end of Creation Club. If they're including everything with this Anniversary Edition, I doubt they're going to continue releasing new stuff. It's just what's released already, some new stuff, and that's it. But also, who knows, maybe they'll add some cool stuff like increasing the mod space limit on consoles for Anniversary Edition. Not sure if they will technically have that ability. I know they couldn't do it with Special Edition because it would corrupt everyone's saves, but even on that note, will your saves even carry over? There's a lot of unknowns with this one. It's definitely kind of an interesting situation, but yes, in 2021, Skyrim is getting yet another update, and seemingly a decent amount of new content. Obviously, as more stuff comes out around this, I will keep you all up to date. I'm sure at some point they'll release more concrete details, but that is the news as it exists right now. Hopefully you guys found this one informative. Hopefully I made it clear what seems to actually be happening with all of this. But until next time, I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all later.
So you guys, don't forget to leave a like or dislike. Comment did you like this and what you want to see me do next. And of course, remember to subscribe for more content, and see you guys next time.
Jet planes in the night sky with you, getting high in the sunrise with you.